Welcome to Worst Snoke Theory Ever, a mini-series where we go through some of the ridiculous theories made over the years on the true identity of Supreme Leader Snoke. This week we'll be looking into one of the many theories which claims that Snoke is none other than Boba Fett. It sounds like fanboy garbage right off the bat, with no reasoning other than wanting to see the bounty hunter actually do something in a Star Wars movie for once. But the aptly named Reddit user, The Return of Boba Fett, supplied a ton of evidence that actually builds a pretty strong case, or well, kinda. It all hinges around on how much Rey's story is that of Anastasia. You know, the historical fable that was made into an un-Disney animated movie in the 90s? Well, remember an Anastasia story which kicks off because of a villain with evil powers harbored a grudge against a family who crossed him? Well, at the end of Return of the Jedi, who could be left over that would possibly have a bone to pick with the SYLO family? If Rey is the Force Awakens Anastasia, that would make Snoke the Rasputin. Once known as Boba Fett, Snoke was scarred heavily in the bowels of the Sarlacc pit, and blames the SYLO clan for pretty much everything. After all, Snoke makes it pretty clear in The Force Awakens that he's pretty familiar with both Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon. Why, Snoke might even hate the SYLOs enough to, let's say, order a murder on their daughter. Perhaps the assassin couldn't go through with it and abandon the girl on Jakku. That would mean that Rey is Han and Leia's long-lost daughter. Again, fitting into Anastasia's girl from a prestigious family returns from being assumed dead for years mold. We also don't see the Knights of Ren outside of a quick flashback, but the user Return of Boba Fett has some interesting thoughts on them, and how they could relate to Boba Fett, the man who once wore Mandalorian armor. According to him, the Knights of Ren are actually Mandalorians which follow Snoke. This is further backed by several of the knights wearing what seems to be Mandalorian armor. Finally, the Return of Boba Fett believes that with the name The First Order, Snoke isn't trying to bring back the Empire. He's actually trying to bring back the ultimate power the galaxy ever saw and bring it back under the Mandalorian rule. There's actually quite a lot of evidence in the Reddit post which you can check out for yourself, but there's also a lot working against this Boba Snoke theory. The biggest one is probably the fact that Boba Fett was never shown to be a Force user. Now technically we never see Snoke use the Force in The Force Awakens, he only alludes to knowing a lot about it. Also, if you buy into this theory, then you also have to buy into the theory that Rey is a SYLO, which in itself is a whole other can of worms. That being said, if Snoke is Boba Fett, it would make Kylo's remarks to General Hux a neat bit of foreshadowing. So what do you guys think of this Snoke theory? Do you agree or disagree with it, and why? And is this the worst Snoke theory ever? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel for more crazy Snoke theories and other Star Wars goodness. As always, I'll see you guys on the next one.